I'm the one-man army, ain't on. I never been tooken out. I keep MCs looking out.
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, Hip Hop Gamer, chilling with my man Josh, man. Listen, before I start crying, right? You guys don't understand what you're in for. Treyarch is ready. When I mean ready, I'm gonna call it out. Battlefield, Modern Warfare 2, Killzone 3. The war is on. Listen, Josh, first of all, congratulations,
like a man who knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. After what I just saw,
yeah.
Yo, listen, man. I'm more than blown away. I didn't even realize that this game had, from what I see, fully destructible environments. Why is it that we see, you know, Treyarch be able to pull this off, and not our friends over at Infinity Ward? I mean, like, this is something that we've been wanting for a long time in a Call of Duty game, and we got it, but we have it to an extent that I haven't even seen in Battlefield Bad Company 2. This is on a whole new level. So, is it the engine, or, I mean, what are you guys doing that's bringing Call of Duty Black Ops to a level that we never seen Call of Duty ever before?
Well, the kind of destruction that we're going for is a little bit different from those games. It's not the entire environment's not destructible, but the things that make sense and that you, as a player, would just intuitively think would blow up will blow up. Yeah. So, you know, there was you saw in one of the levels we showed you, there was that shack across the river, and I fired an M202 rocket at it, and the entire shack just all the boards are flying off, and it was on fire. So, I mean, you know, that's a set piece that very clearly and obviously should react to something like that. Yeah. The helicopter mission Payback that we showed you, everything in that level is destructible on the other hand.
Oh my God.
Because when you're in a helicopter, there's nothing more fun than to just blow shit up. So that's exactly what we wanted to go for. And you know, honestly, like if you're not blowing up every single structure in that level, there's something wrong with you. Because it's just too fun.
Exactly. And to me, I feel that, you know, when a lot of people saw the helicopter, like, first time in E3, they wasn't sure if you was actually controlling everything. Like, they was like, hold on, wait, is he doing it, or is he on the rail and just shooting, or how is it? So you guys got helicopter like missions, but we all know that Call of Duty, they have, you know, we got multiplayer, we got a lot more levels to see upon release of the game. So how important was it to get, like, gamers to be able to control the helicopter full throttle, and also will we see modes that involve controlling these helicopters in multiplayer?
So multiplayer, I'll work backwards here. Multiplayer does have a vehicle component to it, but we're not ready to reveal exactly what it is. But what I will tell you is that it's unlike anything we've done before, and I think you guys are going to be surprised.
Oh wow! That's what I'm talking about.
And then so in terms of Payback, the mission that you're talking about in single player, it was very important for us to give the players full control over a helicopter, because players have been on rails in Call of Duty before. They've been in a helicopter just gunning. They've been in other aircrafts just gunning. But to us, it was like, okay, we can really revolutionize this. It's a long franchise, lots of great games. We need to provide something that's fresh and new. So that was a fully controllable helicopter. Now, it was important that we weren't creating a flight simulator. Yeah. It needs to be a helicopter, because we don't want to remove players from the element. We don't want them to feel like it break the immersion at all. So when you jump into our helicopter, it's just, if you played Call of Duty, which clearly you have been, if you get to the helicopter, then you're going to have no problem flying it. It's a completely intuitive experience. And if I can, I don't want to spoil it, but really what we do is we control the elevation for you. So a lot of people are wondering, okay, how do you control a helicopter without it being difficult? Well, the key is the helicopter is going to go up and down automatically based on whatever makes sense. It'll keep you at the perfect height, and then you're just flying forward and back and spinning around. So you can go anywhere you want in this valley, but of course the AI is going to control the elevation for you.
But that's genius, because it actually brings the fun factor level higher.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's important, because what a lot of people don't realize is that, and I tell people this all the time, it's great to have realistic games, but you got to have that realistic / fun factor balance. Because I give you an example. I know you're a gamer and stuff like that. And just to derail for a second, but in your opinion, what's the most realistic fighting game you ever played or seen in your life? The most realistic one?
Fighting like hand-to-hand combat?
Like hand-to-hand combat, weapons, whatever. The most realistic fighting game ever made. What was it?
Oh wow! I think the most realistic shooter I've played would be would probably be Operation Flashpoint, like the Dragon Rising.
Oh,
Yeah. And you know, for realistic fighting games, I mean, I'm gonna have to go with like one of the boxing, you know, Final Fights or the UFC Undisputed series. Those are good.
Okay, I'm gonna actually enlighten everybody right now. The most realistic fighting game that ever was released ever in the history of games was Bushido Blade.
Oh, all right.
Okay? Now, Bushido Blade, that is a game where you cut somebody's arm, you fighting without that arm.
Right.
Like, and you go run in the trees and do all these things.
Okay.
But it didn't sell a lot. The fun factor wasn't there because it was too real. So for you guys to mix a game with this type of balance of this magnitude, it just screams that, you know what, you nailed it. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate the work. Now, I want to tell you right now, from all the action that I've seen in this game, I know 3D is the new thing that everybody's really talking about and getting into. This game would kill everything in 3D. I'm telling you right now. The best game that I've seen so far in 3D, aside from Killzone 3, was MotorStorm Apocalypse. And literally, it was one of those experiences where, forget what everybody else is saying about, oh, we ain't getting no 3D TVs, you're lying. Because you will get it once you experience it. But with the action that I've seen in Call of Duty, 3D will take it over the top even more. Is this something that's in your plans to possibly bring 3D to Call of Duty?
It's very possible. Any time that we look at new technology like the 3D stuff or Kinect, you know, what we want to do is make sure that we can make a compelling gameplay around these new technologies.
Okay.
And not all technologies are right for certain genres and certain types of games. So it's just something that we would have to look into and make sure it made sense for a Call of Duty game.
Alright, now what I want to ask you is, everything that you, now listen to me carefully now, listen to me carefully. Everything that I've seen so far in single player, does that carry over into multiplayer gameplay as well? Everything that I've seen in here, all the abilities, everything I was able to do in single player, will that carry over to multiplayer? Yes or no? And if you say yes, I'm going to lose my mind. But yes or no?
I'm trying to think of everything you saw. I got to make sure.
Because I'm going to hit you with another question that's going to be a doozy right now.
Oh, yeah. Not everything.
Not everything.
All
right. The reason why I had to ask that, because you could swim in the game. Like, listen to me, y'all. This is Call of Duty right here. You could swim in the game, and what's so crazy about it is that you swimming in the game and you moving around, you planting C4 like under the water.
Right.
I mean, this is a whole new level of an experience. And when I saw that, I was thinking, if you was in multiplayer and you was able to swim and, you know, surprise your enemy and shoot them up, that would be incredible. So that's why I asked that, because that's something that gamers will go insane over. Yeah. Will we see that type of diversity and that type of newness in Call of Duty multiplayer Black Ops?
Yeah, unfortunately I can't talk about multiplayer too much today, but I promise you, and you know, I stake my reputation on it, that what Treyarch's doing with multiplayer is going to blow people away. You're not going to see it coming, because we're pulling out all the stops, really. So, you know, at the beginning of the project, we refocused all of our efforts as a studio to develop only Call of Duty Black Ops.
Ooh.
So, you know, in 2008 when we made World at War, we made 3 games that year at the same time. So now everybody is focused just on this, and it's allowed us to just take the gloves off and do things that we never thought were, you know, possible, you know, on our timetables and with our studio resources. So, yeah, our multiplayer is the deepest, richest multiplayer we've ever made at Treyarch, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be satisfied.
All right. Now, the streaming texture technology that you was telling us about, can you elaborate on how does that work? And considering that's a technology that's dealing with graphics, how was you able to get that to perform this well on the 360? And does the PS3 look the same, or does it look better?
So it takes a lot of really smart math nerds to get all this stuff working on this hardware. Yeah, because I mean every year we kind of we think that we max out the hardware for what it's worth, right? Yeah. And then so the next time we make a game, and of course the Xbox 360 stays the same, so we got to sit there thinking, what can we do to squeeze, you know, every last bit of juice out of there? And really what it comes down to is refining our engine, refining our processes, managing memory better. integrating texture streaming. So the way that works is textures will only load if you're going to see them. So textures that are really, really far away, because we can make massive environments now, so textures that are really far away, they're not going to load in until you actually get within line of sight of them. And then, even then, they're not going to load at their highest resolution until you get really close to them, because when you're far away, you wouldn't be able to see that detail anyway.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, so you actually made it so it looks better as you get closer?
Yeah. And you won't see it happen. It's all just going to be, because you can't. It's TV screens can only render so many such a great resolution with with the pixels.
Wow,
so,
that's
yeah,
incredible.
It'll happen seamlessly, and it allows us to make levels like Payback, where you can fly through an entire. You start on the ground in a normal gun battle situation. You get in a helicopter, you fly up, and you realize there's this massive valley in front of you, and you can fly all the way through it. And meanwhile, way the hell back there was where you started on the ground, And
I don't mean to cut you off. The most amazing thing about Call of Duty that you're going to see is that there's not one piece of texture popping. Not one piece of it. If you look at games like, Grand Theft Autos and even Saints Row and Red Dead Redemption, these games that got big open world vistas, shout out to my man Josh, we can't put him on camera, but this guy he's an incredible human. He brought me upstairs to see this, so I love him forever now. Like I said, he got to come to my house and get some chicken or something. But you too, man. I'm telling you. Now listen, man. Listen, there's no texture popping, and you look at a lot of games and you get high and you see the vistas and you stuff start popping up and loading in. No, this technology right here is basically, to me, I think it's a statement against your competition. I think you guys was like, you know what? I'm tired of people talking shit. I'm going to do something to shut everybody up. And this is one of the statements from a graphical standpoint that did it. Now, the reason why I asked the question, because you said streaming, is that we know Blu-ray has more space than a DVD. Yeah. So is there anything that the PS3 was able to do to give you guys a little edge because of the Blu-ray and, because of the cell processor, or will both games be identical?
The hardware is very different, but at the end of the day, the game is very comparable. So the PS3 and 360 visually are going to look very, very similar. Of course, hardcore members of either camp might be able to pick out something that's a little better here, a little better there. But really, what it is we're developing to the Call of Duty engine. So the Call of Duty engine runs on both of these platforms, and then within that world, it's rendering the same. It's going to render the same textures. It'll be the same barrels. It'll be the same trees, same weapons, the Blu-ray disc can store a greater capacity for sure than a DVD, but it's it's all about memory. It's what we're loading into memory. That's what's determining how fast the game's running and what you're able to draw on the screen.
Okay, now this is the part of my soul, right, that I'm about to give all you gamers right now. There's something called Slaughterhouse. Slaughterhouse, I was exposed to Slaughterhouse just now. Can you do me a favor? It was thanks to Josh too. Josh just, he's a very generous guy. I guess he knows or have heard of my level of promotion or how I do things to get the word out to the industry. Because this game is going to sell 14 million. I'm gonna be honest right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. This ain't because I'm in front of them. I love games. I love everything. But at the same time, competition, controversy. This is what we do. This game is gonna sell more than Halo. Straight up, it's gonna sell more than Halo Reach. It is, and that's just real talk. It's gonna sell more than Halo Reach.